What up, people? Coach V, New Breed Boxing. Inside versus outside fighting. What's the difference and which is better for you? Great question. I've been getting a lot lately. So, I'm going to use a fantasy matchup that everybody wishes could have happened as the perfect example. Muhammad Ali versus Mike Tyson. Muhammad Ali, arguably one of the best outside fighters in the sport of boxing. Mike Tyson, he's one of the best inside fighters ever step into the ring. So, what is the job of the outside fighter? The outside fighter's job basically is to use his superior footwork and straight punches to keep his opponent out of reach and keep the fight in the middle of the ring, to stay away from the ropes, even though Ali did do that at the end of his career. Mike Tyson being the inside fighter, what's the job of the inside fighter? He's got more work cut out for him because he's got to be more, it's more physical being the inside fighter, because you got to use your footwork, you got to be more explosive with your footwork, and you got to utilize your jab to close the distance, and then your head movement, and you're pressing the action forward. Your whole objective is to get your opponent to the ropes, basically, so you can trap him, cut off the ring. And once you get inside past his reach, you're going to get little pockets of time to do as much damage as possible. And if the guy's smart, he's going to get back on his bike, pivot, get up out the way, and you're going to have to repeat the process over and over again. And it's going to be basically a seesaw battle to see who can, if the taller guy can keep the smaller or the shorter guy off of him. And, you know, usually, like, for example, Muhammad Ali, they said I've almost never even seen too many fights of him. I've heard people saying, well, he almost never threw a body shot, and he almost never weaved a punch. Being on the outside is kind of advantageous because you get to kind of let the fighter come to you, and as long as you throw enough jabs and stay ahead on points and counter enough, you're basically using a lot less energy than the guy that has to be on the inside. Because when you're on the inside, you gotta slip, bob, weave, shoot in with your footwork very explosively. When you get inside, you got to keep the pressure on him so he can't get his wits about him and regroup and get away from you. And if you do stay on the inside, even if you can keep the guy on the ropes, you still got to keep flanking him because he's going to adjust, he's going to adapt defensively. So it's definitely a lot more taxing of the two positions to be on the inside. And I will say that in boxing, almost everything is pretty much black and white. You know, the sweet science, like I said, would determine the guy with the more reach to be the outside fighter. And I would prescribe to that theory as well. You know what I mean? I think if you look across the ring and you see the guy's got less reach than you, I would definitely make him work to get inside. And I would just jab a lot and high and low, mix up the levels. And, you know, only throw the uppercuts and hooks when the guy gets past your jab. Make it an easy night, as easy as you can. And then, like I said, get back on your bike. But when you are the inside fighter, I will say it's a lot more exciting. It's a lot more impressive because, for example, Mike Tyson had every defensive movement in the library. I mean, this guy was able to slip, bob, weave, pull, duck, and counter off of any one of those movements in a split second. And to me, I think, you know, again, people love seeing that. Of course, you don't want to fight for the fans. You want to fight to make sure you win, regardless of however it has to be. But at the end of the day, I think fans are much more infatuated with the inside fighters because they bring the action. Muhammad Ali was such a personality, I think, that kind of, his boxing was secondary almost to his character. So I'll say that I don't even think we ever really got to see the full potential of Muhammad Ali because, you know, he was able to get away with just doing the minimum at a lot of points in his career. I mean, his reflexes up until, you know, they started to deteriorate, that's pretty much, you know, his main thing. I mean, he was able to keep guys at bay with his, you know, superior reflexes, and he would let you come to him and stick and move. And to me, that's a very smooth, intelligent way to fight. You know, maybe not as exciting. Floyd Mayweather is one of those kind of guys as well. You know, he doesn't like to be on the inside. He's more of an outside fighter most of the time. He's one of the few guys I've seen, in some cases, be a little shorter and still be able to stay on the outside effectively. And again, like I use the example, Paul Williams, look him up. He had 1-inch reach, I think, more than Muhammad Ali, but for some reason, and as a welterweight at that, and for some reason, he just loved fighting on the inside. And he pulled it off. He was able to make it work for him. So, yeah, there are some people that break the rules and make it work for them, but those guys are exceptions to the rule, not the standard. So, if you're gonna go experimenting with being an inside fighter when you should be an outside fighter or vice versa, definitely do it with some people that you're cool with. I wouldn't go experimenting in a new gym until you reach a certain level of experience, because they might not like that too much, and they'll definitely take advantage of seeing you making the attempts to change your style up. They'll see that and they'll try to take advantage. Believe me, they will. So anyway, hope you found this informative. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Go check out my Instagram, coach.v_. DM me on that. Online training available soon. Till the next time, we up out of here. I hope.